My Hero Academia. These hoes have no faith in you. I like that shit. Alright, let's talk about My Hero Academia. Let's try to keep this short for once because I'm always making long videos because I like to ramble. When I first heard about My Hero Academia, didn't really like it because I am that type of person. I hate things that are popular. I don't know why. I don't do it intentionally. I just usually people overhype something. I'm like, oh really? And I expect too much, and then end up disappointed. So My Hero Academia is basically all this comic book hero stuff that we have here in America put into Japan. Now this kind of story has been done before. High School High, that stupid Disney movie event in the mid 2000s that came up. So we've seen things like this before, where like heroes with superpowers that have to be molded and all that crap. Special high school just for heroes. Wait, what am I talking about? X-Men done this. X-Men the same thing. Even though technically the main characters aren't in the school, like as students, but like they have a school and the students learning about their powers and how to control them and all that crap. So when I heard about this My Hero Academia, I'm like, well, this is not the most original story I ever heard about heroes and whatever, even though they have their own version of it. So I went about watching Boruto and my Yu-Gi-Oh! And my Dragon Ball Super. Never really paid attention to this that much. Then one day I decided to give it a shot. And I didn't immediately fall in love with it, but it did grow on me. And now I like the show. Decent show. My main problem with the show originally is that the Vegeta character of this show, the Bakugo, is like dialed up to 1,000. Like usually we have like emo kind of characters in our shows, started by Sasuke of Naruto. Or we have a Vegeta in the show, the anti-hero prick who only cares about himself really, and if he does something decent it's because it somehow benefits him or some shit. But with Academia, this guy's dialed up to 1,000. He's just overly prickish for no goddamn reason. And the contrast with that, the main character is overly pussified. Like we've seen shows where characters are like weak, the main character's weak and he's shy and he's a bitch. But my God, when My Hero Academia separates itself from the rest by having a main character not just be a pussy, but really be a pussy. And have the main Vegeta guy character, the second guy next to the main character, not just be a prick, but really be a prick. Now the problem with the prick character, Bakugo, is that there's no real reason why he's a prick. Like he doesn't have a backstory where, he lost his mom in a fire and his dad treats him like crap and sticks his finger in his ass, and there's no backstory. He's just a prick, and he has a quirk that matches his prickness. He uses the sweat of his body to make explosions, so that explains his explosive personality, I guess. Like even right off the beginning when they were like talking about going to the school UA High or whatever for UA to freaking do the whole school thing. Like, I think the main character was kind of hinting at doing it, or like he was... YOUdoria, that's his name. I was thinking of his name, YOUdoria. He was talking about it, and then like Bakugo freaking like tells him, "Shut up, nerd! You're gay!" Just like overly, just for no reason. It's like, have a point why you're a prick. Jesus, he over freaking does it. Like, you don't have a power, nerd. You're just a fag. And I seen you kiss guy. I don't know what the hell is his problem. Then something like and then of course the main character doesn't defend himself. He's not like, "Shut up, faggot." He's like, Well, I guess it kind of makes sense because he doesn't have a quirk and everyone else does have a quirk. Basically, there's My Hero Academia is their reason for why everyone has a quirk is not really a reason. They just said one day some people started being born with superpowers and then everyone else has superpowers. They don't call it superpowers though. They call it quirks, which is good marketing strategy. But they call it quirks. Now, one day, one person has it, then the next person has it, and then everyone started having it, and people start being born with it. And next thing you know, 80% of the population has it, and then some 20% people don't. There's a certain population, a few in the population that don't have a quirk. Main character, YOUdoria, is one of them. So, when they were kids, him and Bakugo were friends since they were kids. When Bakugo wasn't as much of a prick as he is later on. And they would hang out, and he would kind of like follow Bakugo and look up to him. And they would all talk about, "Hey, we're eventually all going to get, quirks, and, we're all going to be the best hero. No, I'm going to be the best hero. No, I'm going to be the best hero." And all that competitive crap. Then what happened is the whole crew including Bakugo, ended up eventually getting powers, and the main character didn't. You know, like he been looking up to All Might and been wanting to become superhero since the beginning. You know, when his mother knows that, and then he takes her to the doctor one day, and then he's like, "Hey, how come he doesn't have a quirk yet? He's right around the age you're supposed to get it." Doctor's like, "I'm sorry, your kid. He doesn't born with it. He's probably never gonna have it." Blah 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 blah. Then, of course, the kid is crushed. The mom feels sorry for him, and gives him a hug, and he's crying and all that crap. And then he's like mad at his mom for saying I'm sorry rather than saying one day you can still be a hero without the quirk and all that crap. And it's a whole lot of drama in the beginning about him not getting a quirk, and like his mom did what any mom would do, which is just say I'm sorry and hug him and try to be there for him. But he's like, no, you should have said I could still be a hero without a quirk, which is stupid because realistically you can't. And even later on, the show solves that by him getting a quirk, so he couldn't have been a superhero without the quirk anyway. Wouldn't be some faggot sidekick who like is very good with mechanics or something. Like that's about it. Freaking Robin or something. Even though Batman is just useless. Anyway, let's go. Let's get away from that. And then so that's the whole backstory. Then it leads into I forget. I think it was something where like supervillain was attacking the area. Bakugo tries to save the day. He gets captured, and then I think he's about to like swallow him up or eat his energy or something stupid. And then YOUdoria freaking wants to go and attack him. Like he go without even thinking about it. His body just automatically reacts, and he goes in trying to do his best to save him, even though he's useless. But that's supposed to be the thing about a hero. A hero, reacts automatically, tries to save someone without thinking, compared to the average person who might think about it. Like, if you're caught in the fire, I might think about it and be like, whew. If I go in there and try to save you, we both might die. Let me just let fire rescue take care of that. I'm going to go, over here and, sit down and look at my phone. Whereas someone who's like an actual born hero or something who has that instinct wouldn't even think twice about it. They would automatically just start running towards the fire and start trying to do something to get the person out or something. That's basically the gist of what they're saying. And that's basically what he did without a quirk. And he helped stall enough time so that All Might could come in and actually save the day for real. All Might says, you're a good kid. You did a good job. Bye. And he tries to fly off. YOUdoria holds onto his leg. He goes on the top of a roof. He keeps trying to leave YOUdoria. YOUdoria keeps hunting him down. Eventually, All Might's power runs out. Because All Might got hurt one time, and then we already know the story. He got hurt one time, and then he lost his powers, and ever since he got hurt, he can only be All Might for like an hour, and then it gets taken up. So he passes down his power to him. He says, after that spell you did over there and everything, you too can be a hero. And he passes down his power by grabbing a piece of hair and making him swallow it. And slowly but surely, he finally gets the power. Eventually, we find out later on is that him passing down the power to YOUdoria eventually means that his power is going to run out completely. We find out later. In the beginning, they make it just seem like, oh no, he just gave you power and now you both have it. So he has to go and train his body physically for a few months, doing a whole bunch of like ridiculously training shit to want to prepare himself to go into UA or U. Is it UA? Yeah, it's UA. I remember. And then he goes and does the exam with everyone else, and at first he could only do a punch where like his whole body lights up, like his veins light up and his whole arm lights up, and he could just punch once, but then his arm is destroyed, and he can only use like his other arm, and then if that's destroyed, he can only use he's pretty much useless. He'll probably use his legs, but then that leg will get destroyed. He can only use his power to 100%. But once he uses that power to 100%, his limbs are destroyed, and then he has to get healed. And that keeps happening in the beginning until later on when he's learning to control it more and hold on to it and all that crap. Now, the fourth story arc after they join the whole UA thing is that while they're training, they get attacked. This happens twice. This happens once in the beginning when they're training for something. And then later on, way later on, not even way later on, not that much later on, they're training at some camp to prepare for, the exams to become licensed pros or whatever, or licensed, at least officially licensed. They get attacked again. The first time they get attacked, without no one in the school, no one in the main school, the teachers knowing about it. And freaking the kids have to run away, and teachers are struggling, getting their asses whooped. Finally, they all decide the kids eventually decide to fight back. It's a pretty good story, pretty good arc. Eventually, All Might does get reached. He comes back and he saves the day and whoops on this freaking big giant brain showing creature. Some weird. I don't know what I even call it. And then we get all the way to freaking the second arc where they fight in a camp. Kind of the same thing. It's kind of a repeated story. They just get attacked again. They'll get separated this time. Things are even more dangerous. YOUdoria shows some growth by actually being able to save this kid who once hated superheroes because his kids got killed by one of these villains or something, and now he hates people with quirks. And he goes and beats up this one big muscular guy by just pure perseverance. Just keeps fighting him. All Might has to save the day again, but then Bakugo gets captured. Everyone's told to go back into the school, and then the heroes will take care of it. And then YOUdoria and all of them feel, especially YOUdoria, feels responsible for Bakugo getting captured. He's like, no, we're going to do this on our own. And then all the kids like, hey, we're going to go with you, blah, blah, blah. And they go to save the kid on their own. The kid being Bakugo. They go and try to find their lair and try to capture him back. They end up fighting with the main villain, who has the power All for One. And this is when the All for One, One for All Might's power is explained. With his power, with the All for One guy. The All for One guy is pretty much the leader of the League of Villains, the main antagonist of the show. And his All for One ability, his little brother, he thought had no quirk, but he does have a quirk. His quirk is to pass down, the transfer power, to transfer quirks. That was basically his ability. But that was his only quirk. He has no other quirk besides that. So he eventually gave his little brother a quirk to stockpile power in your body, thinking that he was quirkless. But actually he wasn't quirkless. His quirk was that he could pass down his power. At least that's what it says here in the wiki. This was the birth of One for All. With him already having the ability to transfer power. Because All for One is just a guy who could take power from you and give it to other people. He could take your quirk and give it to other people. Sometimes combining to make new quirks. His quirk is basically that he can make you quirkless by taking your quirk. Or sometimes you become a mindless zombie like that brain-showing weird creature that All Might fought. And basically gave his little brother that it was quirkless stockpile power on his body. He, eventually he has the ability to transfer power by giving you, I guess, your DNA or some crap. And that's what One for All was born. And that's when All Might came in. Eventually, I think the one after the first one was a girl who mentored All Might, who gave it to him, and then he gives it to YOUdoria or whatever. So eventually All Might and All for One guy actually fight with All Might beating him, but when he beats him, he runs out of all of his power completely. Runs out of his power, and now he's completely reliant on YOUdoria to now having to successfully be able to become the next All Might. With All Might no longer using powers, is now and what's his name? Endeavor. I think that's his name. He is the father of the icy hot guy, the guy who has hot and icy powers. Icy hot. The thing that Shaq promotes. Anyway. I know I haven't explained much of the other characters too much. I don't want this video to be too long, but me explaining crap that you should already know about if you're seeing this. But basically, the winner of the first tournament was Bakugo, who won the first tournament for, the UA guys or whatever the hell. UA. Keep saying UI. Like ITT Tech. UA. And I think the second winner of the second thing was that everyone had to pass this thing to have official license to to be a pro, or it's not really be a pro, but go out there and actually have hands-on training. It's almost like getting a driver's permit. And YOUdoria's whole team survives. The girl that likes him, the girl that does the gravity thing, which I'm glad they actually acknowledged that she likes him, because I hate that whole, leave it up in the air crap. And then the speed guy who takes everything too seriously, he's all professional and everything. He's the speed guy. He freaking, has turbo super boosters in his legs or whatever. His whole class ends up passing, which is good. This is after the original arc with All Might, losing his powers. YOUdoria is actually getting better hold of his powers now. He could use a certain amount of percentage. He's going to use... Now, first he going to use 5%, but now he could use, I think 8% or something like that. Yeah, I think I'm right. And then the last arc that we run into after YOUdoria's team wins, the Icy Hot guy and Bakugo actually don't win this one. The Icy Hot guy and the... I keep calling him Icy Hot. I know he has a name. But Icy Hot guy and Bakugo actually were the last ones in the original tournament, which Bakugo won. Because Icy Hot guy doesn't want to use his hot powers. He only wants to use his ice powers because he hates his dad. Endeavor. Why does he hate his dad? Because his dad's a prick. His dad only married a woman with ice powers in order to have a son who's even stronger than him. Then one day he could surpass All Might. Because he can't pass him. He's only the number 2 superhero behind All Might. But when All Might loses his powers, he's now the number 1. Why does the son hate him? Because the son is not only that he's only married the what the fuck am I saying? He only married the woman with the ice powers to have a super strong kid with icy and hot powers, but he treats his mom like crap. Treats his son like a golden child and treats the mom like crap. Like if he's training his son and then the mom is like, here son, here's hot cocoa, and then she actually spills the hot cocoa on him, he'll be like, bitch, you just do, and then he just beat the hell out of her. And he's a kid, so he can't really do anything about it. So he hates his dad, and then his mom's scared of him, and he can't even really talk to his mom. I think he eventually talks to his mom one day, and she, kind of accepts him, but, he hates his father. Reasonably so. And then, last but not least, we go into the last arc of the story, in which now, after being attacked twice, and actually putting the one-for-all guy to rest, All Might is no longer the symbol of peace, and now crime is going to skyrocket around the freaking planet, because everyone's like, hey, the symbol of peace, All Might, is done. So let's all wreak havoc. And so, YOUdoria and all of them go to do what was the last episode that happened? They went back to school. They all have dorms now. That was the major thing. And then they're going to be taught to learn finishing moves. Like they're wrestlers or something. They're going to learn freaking like a move that's only that they could do and all that stuff. They all learn, so they all do something. YOUdoria, I don't even think YOUdoria just starts using his legs more instead of his arms. So I guess that's his power. Or whatever. Kind of a waste of episode. Not like they learn any super cool moves or anything. Not like they learn a freaking Kamehameha Gatling gun move. They just freaking did a couple other moves that they usually don't do. So the last episode showed these 3 guys who are the highest smart guys in the whole school. One's this weird guy who could go his power is stupid. Basically he could go in, he could basically just make himself he could go through anything. Walls, the floor, everything. He just becomes a ghost. His body becomes like a ghost. He could just go through anything out of a sudden. Somehow he's strong. I don't know how. Then we the other 2 characters, we don't learn about their quirks. It's just him. And he says, with all the people in the school, he's the one that's most likely being able to replace All Might eventually. The number 1 guy and blah, blah, blah. He's corny. He when he does the whole thing where he goes through walls and stuff, he also goes through his own clothes. He ends up naked the whole time. Long story short, he ends up beating the whole school. The whole class, 1A, which is a YOUdoria's class with Bakugo and the Icy Hot guy and the Turbo guy and the girl that likes YOUdoria, all that stuff. They end up getting whooped by this one guy. One guy. This goofy guy who gets out of his clothes when he's fighting you. He whoops them all. One punch. He just punches them all in the gut and they all lose. So I guess Dragon Ball Z is the only one that does this whole... Hey, look, here's a random guy who's automatically stronger than everyone. Look, he just punched you in the face. You're done. So let's not get into Dragon Ball Super and all these people. I want to see My Hero Academia doing the same crap. So anyway, what's my final thoughts on My Hero Academia? The main character has grown on me. I figured he would. But he's still a freaking punk. But at the end, Bakugo finds out that YOUdoria... Because, there's one thing I forgot to mention. His whole one for all thing is a secret. Nobody knows that he has All Might's quirk now, even though everyone knows that All Might's done. But he once admitted to Bakugo about this, and Bakugo didn't believe him. He's like, yeah, you're full of shit. Because Bakugo was like, hey, wait a minute, you never had a quirk this whole time. How the hell you got a quirk all of a sudden? Because he's the only one that's known him this long. So then, finally, towards the end of the show, before we get into that part where they all get whooped by that one guy who gets naked, Bakugo is like, alright, so the whole thing about you, All Might passing the power to you must be true now. So since he didn't pass the whole thing to get his license exam, him and the Icy High guy, when YOUdoria and all of them could, he feels like inferior to YOUdoria. It's like, you're supposed to be this freaking nerd who looked up to me, and now I'm behind you. And why the All Might, you and me both looked up to All Might. He was both our heroes. He's the reason we both became heroes, and he chose you to pass his power down to. So now he feels inferior to YOUdoria, and now he's like, let's fight. This is whatever. You know, he begs him on to fight. YOUdoria's, no, I don't want to fight you. And then he's like, fight me, you faggot. And then he keeps like swinging at him and shooting these, explosive sweat. Disgusting. And then so YOUdoria finally says like, you know what, that's it. And he actually grows some balls and actually fights him back and almost whoops him. But at the end, he ends up getting whooped by Bakugo. Because this is reverse Kaiba versus Yugi. Reverse Goku versus Vegeta. Where the Vegeta character is actually better than him. So it's kind of like Naruto and Sasuke, right? Sasuke was also supposed to be better than Naruto in the beginning and all that crap. Anyway. YOUdoria has gotten less pussified, which is what eventually wanted to happen. That's all they really had to do. I was going to hate the character in the beginning anyway because like he's such a punk. But he's showing steps in the right direction. He's still a punk, but he has more spunk now. Spunk. He used to be a punk, now he has spunk. And he's showing that he has backbone now. He'll stamp to Bakugo's freaking over ridiculously exaggerated angriness. The only hint to give to why Bakugo is a prick is that his mom is just as much as a prick. The dad's calm, but the mom is always like, like when All Might and all them are all going to all of the parents giving them permission, like, hey, I know your kids got attacked 2 different times and almost died, but we want them to still stay in the school and give them dorms, please. And so the teachers and All Might and all of them basically all go begging. All Might and that guy the eraser guy who takes away all your powers, who was always the main teacher for 1A, YOUdoria's classmates. He's a cool character. He's always presented as lazy and not give a fuckish, but he's cool. He actually cares about kids. So then they go around begging everyone, begging all the family members to freaking keep the kids in the school, including YOUdoria's mom, who was like, you know what, your son used to look up to you, now you're kind of looking up to my son at school. I accept. Blah, blah, blah. But that's the only hint we got to why Bakugo's a prick. His mom is also a prick. But he doesn't have a broken home family. His mom seems like a prick, but his dad is fine. It's just that. But the fight with Bakugo and YOUdoria was actually pretty damn cool. They fought before in the beginning of the show when YOUdoria was just only using 100% all the damn time. And almost damn near killed Bakugo when he swung at him. But I think he held back a little. But it was cool seeing this fight. It's one of the better fights of the series, boy. And that's about it. My final thoughts to you, My Hero Academia is actually a real good show. I really like it. I can't wait to see the show progress. I want to see the show all the way to the end. I want them to see eventually do an arc where they all eventually graduate and they're all pros now, and YOUdoria becomes the #1 hero, like he always says in the beginning of the intros of the dub version. This is my story. I am something whatever, and I am YOUdoria, and I am going to become. This is my story. How I became the #1 hero. Then it goes into whatever intro music. Every 5 episodes they change the intro music. That's one thing that's annoying about me. All right, Dragon Ball Super. I've seen at least 80 episodes, like 65 episodes of theirs. They still have their same theme music from the beginning. The outro changes, but the intro stays the same. As soon as they get into one intro of theirs, they freaking change it again. Every 10 episodes, they're changing the intro. That's annoying. As soon as they get into one intro song, they change it again, and they change it again, and they change it again. Let one of your intros ride for like at least 40, 50 episodes. Why do I have to keep changing it every freaking 10 episodes? Hard to get into it. But it ended up liking My Hero Academia. It's a real good show. And now I think it's done for the rest. Well, obviously the rest of the year. It's freaking 2018 is about to be done in a few days. But for 2019 or whatever, really looking forward to the show. Really like it. The main character's solid. Remember, he's a punk, but he's growing. Bakugo's still a prick. And just a real good show. And I completely forgot to say that I am defense mode switching to attack mode early in the video. Because I suck. So now I am attack mode switching to defense mode. I suck.